a troll that would come on.
No,
like,
Brian's an asshole because he forgot the one and only Nick Lemons was coming on the show. He's God damn it!
He'll make a post.
I totally forgot to promote.
Right, he's posting right now. Don't worry, the whole world will know in 2
Tell everybody to
milliseconds.
call the phone number 252-969-0005.
Hold on, Brian.
And maybe
I gotta get to the post creation screen.
all right. The one and only
tired.
Lemons of Nick. Oh, by the way, we've been recording for a couple minutes.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, this is Sundown After Dark, episode 14. Let's get this bitch rolling.
Show around Sundown After Dark with your host Bryan Chamberlain, presented by Sundown Audio.
And I am your host, and there's a million messages. Everybody can hear that. I guess I got my Facebook up. Anyway, Bryan Chamberlain, that's my name. This is episode 14, and we have Mr. Nick Lemons from Stereo Integrity on finally, after many people have asked us to have him on, because everybody wants to know the relationship between Stereo Integrity and Sundown Audio. So here it is. We're going to handle that business today, Mr. Nick. And, of course, we got Thomas Thornsberry and Mr. Jacob Fuller, and Jake's over there trying to get people to do last-minute questions for the show. I guess call in 252-969-0005, which you're not hearing this anyway because it's not live. But anyway, for people that just want to have questions in general for Sundown related or anything that's going on here, give us a call and shoot us a message. So anyway, Nick, I've known you for a while now. I've been working for Sundown for quite some time, and before that, we used to hang out too from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, I guess a lot of people that are interested in your company, they want to know how it started, the relationship between Sundown Audio and Stereo Integrity. So let's start way back in the beginning of things, Let's start back in the college days.
Well, that's exactly when it started.
Yeah.
It was when we were in college. We were roommates, and I had Stereo Integrity open for a little bit of time, and then Jacob opened Sundown. And at the time, I just had one subwoofer out at the time, the original mag, and then Jake started his company initially with amplifiers.
So you were already in business for what, 4 or 5 years?
I started in 2000.
Yeah, so you were in business for 6 years when I started Sundown.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yep.
So-
How old are you, Nick?
Knocking on 40, almost.
Yeah.
Almost. Big
Sorry.
old 39.
So a lot of people don't realize that Stereo Integrity's been around longer than us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, what would you say your company resides around? What is it based out of? What it was based on? What type of people are going to buy your products, Nick?
People that are going to buy my products are. It depends. In the car audio side of things is typically my component speakers. And everything's active. I don't have any passive networks or anything. But our Neo tweeter, also the 3.5-inch mid, 6.5-inch mid bass, and we got the shallow BM, which really kickstarted my company.
Yeah.
Big time. And then on the home side, which is our larger subs, is where the either home theater enthusiast or recording studios use my subwoofers, things like that. But it's a pretty decent jump from one side to the other. The RM series woofer, the new one, kind of fills in that gap. It can be used in home or car. So,
Way to guess pop in, which happens on every show, by the way.
Yeah.
But nobody gets to see him.
Yeah. So anyway, so I've got 2 different basically aspects of products that I offer.
Hell yeah, man.
Indubitably.
I have a question.
Sure.
On the home side of things, have you thought about doing, I don't know if you want to call them bookshelf speakers, but something other than a subwoofer?
Yeah, for home audio, it's actually quite a few people have asked about exactly that with the new products, especially the new TM65 Mark III.
Yeah.
And then the tweeter, because the new TM65 Mark III has a massively improved bandwidth over the previous version.
Oh, yeah.
So, it can literally play from around in a bookshelf, probably around 65 or 70, all the way up to 10,000. That's just the 6.5.
Up to 10,000.
10K.
Good lord.
Yep.
I had the first version.
The Mark One.
Yeah. I had those in a car,
Mhm.
and it sounded beautiful. But I didn't in that particular car. I didn't have it all set up like an SQ guy would have it set up. It was just
really
I
shitty door.
just put them in the door.
Yeah.
But anyway, they sounded awesome, and now I've yet to hear the newer ones.
Car sitting right out front. Give you a demo.
Hell yeah! Oh no! I did that one time we went to lunch.
Yeah.
Well, not really. We were listening like FM.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
listened
it
to
wasn't-
CD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to like have a listening session.
A proper listening session. Yeah.
Now I think it was just yesterday that you have something going on in the Passat.
Yes, I'm having an install done by Mr. Awesome, Mr. Mark Brooks, down in Atlanta. He's
Oh,
doing
wow.
the three-way up front with the tweeter and the mid-range in the A-pillars.
Sweet. Are you gonna
yeah.
do any competing with that system?
Maybe not. I mean, I might enter competitions basically for fun, to be honest with you.
Right.
I don't,
Now, since you're manufactured, they put you in a different class, like
Yeah,
the master class.
the big boy class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Mhm.
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about, we were just talking about those things. How about we pull up some social media stuff and show people what we're actually talking about? And you actually have some stuff in front of you too.
I do.
While I'm pulling up your stuff, why don't you show the people? Let's bring that camera right to you. Open that bad boy up.
Okay. Oh, you have to see it up there, so I can't pull it down here. Anyway, these are our 3.5-inch mid ranges, dubbed the M3. They are technically a wideband driver, and if you put these, speaking of bookshelves, you put these on a bookshelf, these will play from, I think, lower tuning spectrum is around 50 or 60 hertz, all the way up to 20,000.
Indubitably.
Up
And-
to 20K.
Yeah, these are an XPL squared driver. They have 4 millimeters of X Max in this little tiny little package, and yeah, they're all in one.
I
Take-
saw some
they're a wideband.
BS you were going around
Uh-oh.
with the color of the cone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was
Oh,
that
yeah.
all about? It's something about maybe the weight of the paint or something being used.
Oh yeah, there was a thread about there was a customer of ours that wanted the color change to match his exact paint on his truck, which I thought was really cool.
Right, right.
Because he wasn't going to put grills over top of them and wanted the mid range, since they are a metal diaphragm, to match his truck. And I said sure. So anyway, there was a little bit, like you said, a little bit of people asking how much did it impact the driver, how can it not impact it because it's paint,
Right.
it adds mass, blah blah blah. So I sat down and did the math real quick, and adding paint,
How do you math that up? By the way,
it was pretty difficult.
You weigh the
No.
Did you spray something and weigh it before and after?
I didn't. There was a gentleman who found out how much paint weighs.
God
And
damn.
so it was on a 1 square foot section,
Right.
and he found out how much. It was 6 layers. It was 3 layers of primer, 2 layers of the actual paint, and 1 layer of clear coat. And so I took that, because these were 1 layer of because they were prepped, so there was no actual primer, I don't think. I had a body shop do it, so it might have been off by the 1 layer.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I did it for either 2 or 3 layers of paint, and came up with a 0.4 dB impact. So, by the way, you can't hear that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah. Yeah, so everything stayed the same. It just changed the color of the
Paint
of the
gate.
cone. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so
Yeah.
the paint's fine. You can
Paint's
do
fine.
paint.
Yeah, and the reason why I went with copper was, honestly, it sounded better.
It looks
and
cool. It looks cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when you started building that. I remember you even came to me and say, Brian, what color do you like? Because I think you had a black one, and then you had that one,
Had a black one.
or maybe you were trying to compare it to something else on the market that was similar in like a similar item,
Yeah.
with different color. I remember you asking. I actually liked the copper look too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we had a black one, a white one, and then the copper.
Yeah, the copper one's pretty.
The copper one's really, really good looking.
Sweet titties.
And it's copper, so it's warmer sounding.
It is.
Mm.
It's warmer.
Let's go ahead and go to
Open and airy.
your
Exactly.
social media. Oh, this thing's
The
being
sound
gay.
quality
There
realm
we
is a
go.
little different than SPL realm.
Right. That's a whole nother story. We might get into that.
Please
All
no.
right. Even the color of your wire makes
Color
a
of the
difference.
wire. You seen those things for home audio where it holds the cable off the
I was
ground?
literally just thinking that in my head.
And then how much was that thing?
Aren't they like $300 a piece?
Yeah, no,
and
it
you-
holds the wire off the ground.
Wonderful.
Because you don't want the wire to touch the ground because
Right.
the Earth's magnetic field will pull the electrons down or something, bro.
unless it's actually proved that there's this flat, and then that's all moot.
Yeah.
That's like for real looking into the mind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got your social
stuff.
media pulled up.
Must be
We're
a
on
lot
the
of fun
we're on the
to hang
Facebook
around.
we're on the Facebook page. So if you guys are interested in learning a little more about stereo integrity, or you want to keep up and see what they're doing on a daily basis, we've got stereo integrity on Facebook.
And I forgot to mention when we were in home audio. Yeah, you can see on your screen right now. That's literally our biggest seller is our 24.
Big old 24.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And as we've mentioned before, this is the gentleman that builds the 24s for Sundown Audio.
Yeah.
That's right.
Our CB524 is built by Mr. Nick Lemons.
Yep. And each one of them for either Sundown or my company is built by hand by me. Actually.
Yes. Yes. All right, so we've got your pictures pulled up. I want to see some things here. Okay,
There's
here-
an old picture of like the very first one boxed up at the timeline photos.
Where's that?
I noticed it because it's me in the picture. Scroll up.
Oh,
There it is.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how
that's the
big the
first
box
24.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
First one.
Oh, man.
shipped out.
What did you do, Brian?
I clicked it, but it makes you.
There
have to
it
go-
was.
You have to
Yeah.
go like all the way to the bottom to find that particular one. Let's see
That's
what
gonna
Thomas looked like when he was little.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I was
when he was
skinnier.
little.
Oh, damn it! This is gonna take forever.
I told you it's gonna take a while.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, we got people
Oh,
listening.
there's
on
renderings of the TM65, the Mark II.
Oh yeah.
This is
oh,
old.
this is gonna take forever to get down to the bottom.
I told you.
Nick-
Ah, never
Nick
mind.
doesn't
I
post
was
that
just-
often.
Just scroll back up. That's fine.
Can
I do now.
Can I do something? I can't do it by date. Anyway, I wanted to show people this. This is
Yeah,
cool.
fuck it. I'll
Because
be
you
over
posted
here.
this yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Hey, Thomas.
that's the Passat.
Oh, hey.
So this is at Mark's shop.
Mark Brooks. Yep.
And I see he's doing some pods up here in the A pillars.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, how is he positioning these?
These are aimed.
What access?
These are aimed at each other's headrest.
Okay, so it's a center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're not driver oriented. You're not passenger oriented. It's going to be centered oriented.
Correct. I did the center oriented in the last Jetta, and I kept the sail panels for this Jetta, and it's neat. I like it, but I decided to go a different direction this time. I've heard some great cars they're aimed the way that the Passat's aimed right now, and well, it will be aimed. I'm not going to change it, but and they sounded great. So heard some great cars that sound that way, and it is symmetrical. So
Right.
when you're not when you look at the left in this case A pillar, it's not different than the right one.
Right. And
Right.
when you're giving a demo to somebody, they're not experiencing the shit sound. You know, you're like, isn't it great? And they're over there just hearing like an aluminum can sound.
Right. So yeah,
All right. What are these that I'm looking at here?
those are the newest shallow woofer. Those are the BM Mark V. And
Okay.
everything on that sucker was literally tooled up brand new, including the motor. And yeah, that's we've got our S surround on there, carbon fiber diaphragm.
Frame's also your design.
No, that's actually an open tool. Anyone
Okay.
can grab
That's
that.
the only part that Nick didn't tool.
Yeah.
Okay. And the motor must sit on the inside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually kind of see it. If you go back to the other one,
It's really
move your mouse over
This?
right there, that white
It's like
piece.
down.
Okay.
On production, it's black, and that's actually the spider riser that sits on top of the motor and holds the spider. And underneath that white piece is where the motor sits.
Is it Neo?
It's Neo. Yep,
Sweet.
a 12-ring cluster.
That's beautimous.
It's
and
pretty
so,
sweet
what
looking.
type of? Obviously, I would say it would go in a sealed enclosure, right?
Yep, sealed enclosure.
And what type of frequency response are you looking at? Something like that.
In vehicle, it can play from about 16 hertz all the way up to 80 or 90 or 100.
Okay.
It digs deep.
FS wise, what are we looking at on something like that?
On this particular version, the FS is a little higher in the mid-20s,
Okay.
and that's because the previous versions, Mark III and Mark IV, had really soft suspensions on them. So the FS was, I think it was 16 or
16,
17.
yeah.
But you can't drive them as hard either in situations
Right,
like that.
right. So power handling's sacrificed quite a bit. So we went ahead and stiffened up the suspension.
There you go.
Which raised the FS, but in vehicle you're still sub 20s.
Oh
as
yeah,
far as
that
an F3.
sucker. It just plays. It just plays down and down and down. That's one of my favorite alignments. Is a sealed box that plays low. It's just personal preference. I like that sound.
Yes. And generally, you get more of a bandwidth that way, being as it's in a sealed enclosure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, I mean, the bottom end rolls off less steeply on sealed. So like ported, you play below tuning. It's like, sealed is a lot more forgiving on that.
I think with ported, they say it's like if you try going below the look, Debbie's calling me. If you try to go below the what was it 5 hertz below tuning, it's just like dead.
It's 1/3 octave.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So since we're looking at your pictures, I see something else in here. Let's take a look at this bad boy.
Had to
that's-
find that one, didn't you?
Is that? Hold on. It's the same one. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
same
just
one.
it's just odd coloring. All right. So what are we looking at? For those that are listening on Spotify, you got to watch this episode on YouTube so you can see the pictures. Definitely.
This is a prototype motor that we got in for our 24, and we kept it with a 3-inch coil for this prototype. We're probably can't make.
I
any,
probably should get this. What's my mom?
Yeah, she
Call
called me
up.
first.
can't make any promise says, but we're gonna increase the voice coil diameter probably to 5-inch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that'll be for like an extreme version of it. Because right now we've got the SHS, and we're literally we have got a lot of motors that we're selling out of, and then when those are gone, they're just gone. And so this one, we wanted to get the numbers off this. Numbers meaning the Gauss,
Yeah.
how strong it was, whatnot. And then we can scale that up to a 5-inch without doing any more R&D work, because this fits on a 3-inch coil, which fits all of our 24s right now, so we
Gotcha.
can easily build one up.
Right. Is this gearing more towards, I guess you could say SPL, something a little louder, stronger?
Just stronger overall. I wouldn't say necessarily SPL because, again, our market for our 24s is 99.99% home audio.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where with a 5-inch coil that's, say 4-inch winding width or 4.5-inch winding width, which is massive,
Yeah.
then it'll be one of those things where they can just pour as much power on it as they want and they won't damage it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about big coils is you deal with a ridiculous amount of moving mass at the same time.
Right, and just more surface area, so it's able to handle so much more power.
Bryan, go back to that picture.
Oh, you're talking about the thing where
Next comment.
the guy says,
But this is also okay. So
we're summarizing Nick Lemons' personality in one post.
yes.
Yeah.
Peter O'Shaughnessy or Peter O'Shag Hennessy.
O'Shag Hennessy.
That's
That's
the
right, that's
cherry
so
on the
awesome.
top of the cake right there. It's just like
Yes.
the substitute teacher bit that me and Nick always get a kick
Yep.
out of. Peter O'Shaughnessy. What is it? Stereo integrity. Peter, metal and magnets.
That's all you need to know.
And that's Nick Lemons.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job, Nick.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Here's another one.
It's pretty.
yeah. Yeah, she's good looking.
Get your ass down to Principal O'Shag Hennessy.
So, Nick, did you determine that you're going to sell these or not?
Those Neo motors?
Yeah.
Probably not. I would like to, but as you can probably tell by the picture, they're going to be pretty expensive.
Dems ain't gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
So what Nick is saying is if anybody wants to pre-order 100 of them, he'll make them for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like what Bryan was asking for, what's basically the end game of getting that motor in?
Yeah.
And if the bigger motor, the 5-inch Neo motor, Neo being what's
Right,
pictured
right.
right there, were to go into production, I think the SHS 24s are what, 2,500? So that one with the 5-inch coil and that Neo motor would be, easily $3,500.
Right. And the market is fairly limited for that.
Yeah,
Hey, there's people out there who pay that.
if they want to.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah,
You have some clients that are just insane, by the way.
What's that dude in
Oh, yeah.
Europe that has like 24s or
Yeah.
something?
There's a dude
He
wasn't there a guy that built a basement around you, like those subs or some shit?
not necessarily a basement around them. We have some of our OEM clients. They've done some really, really impressive theater builds, and one of them uses a lot of our 24s in their, I don't know what they call it, but they're top tier
Right.
theater systems. And one of them, one room, and I use the word room loosely because it's a massive room,
Right.
and it's a dedicated theater room, and they used 12 24s.
There's 12.
That's ridiculous.
And two of them one's underneath each main listening seat.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah, talk about tactile feel.
Are they doing like a free air setup on something like that? Or is it enclosure based or how?
Most of them are enclosure based up front, but then the ones they're I actually don't know if they're running an infinite baffle or an enclosure. To be honest with you, they order from me and they do their own thing, and then I might see a picture and might not.
Nobody ever sends Nick Lemons reviews.
It's bullshit.
No.
That must mean they like the products. Though.
I really
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, I knew you had a guy up in the mountains that had a pretty kick-ass system.
Yeah,
Like
he
towards
actually-
Tennessee, I think.
Yeah, he actually has two infinite baffle 24s mounted exactly that way.
Yeah,
In his attic, firing down into his listening room.
that's awesome.
It's really cool. Yeah.
All right, so let's show this picture here. Oh, nope, not that one.
Those are
Where's the one's got the
3.5.
here we got a three-way system in one setup.
There you go.
That's pretty kick-ass.
That's these.
Oh, hey.
Yep.
So we got these in today.
Oh, hold on, let's change that camera.
How many briefcases do you got over there?
I bet you'd like to know.
I didn't notice he switched it out.
Switch them out. Yeah.
All right. So I'm just so you know, you don't see this, but they are seeing
That's
those
fine.
speakers right now.
Yeah. Can
So
they see me too or no?
Yes, they can. The whole camera, the whole thing's on you, Nick. Nobody else right now.
Well,
It's all you, buddy.
okay.
It's this one.
I know it's that one. No, yeah, I was asking about like can I get these out or are they just looking at that screen?
Do your
No,
thing.
They're looking at you.
I know what I'm doing, Nick. Don't you worry.
Anyway, these little guys
Ooh.
are the ones that I was mentioning that would fare extremely well in a bookshelf, or these are primarily going in cars, but they'll also work
Yeah.
at home. These are the ones that are, as you can see, it's carbon fiber. We tooled this basket, and we had a guy, I think it was Jonathan Price, when he was asking me, he's like, what is this? Is this sealed? It's not sealed, half sealed. It's actually a rain guard.
Yeah.
So you mount the driver up like
I didn't
this.
even know it was a thing.
Built-in rain guard,
I
Bryan.
wish that other companies back in the day had those. You know how many speakers I had ruined that just from rain, water going down the seal?
Yeah, so same here. I've had speakers run that way, and so this way when you mount it in a door normally,
Yep.
with the rain guard pointing up, then it protects the
Actually,
diaphragm.
the
So it's
the
nice.
version 1s of that speaker got messed up with.
Because they had regular baskets on them.
Yep.
Right. And this little guy is, the cool thing about it is it's got 9 millimeters of one-way linear excursion.
And that's crazy in that depth. What's the depth on that bad boy?
2.4.
Yeah.
I said it kind of fast, so I'll slow it down.
What is it?
9 millimeters one way.
One way.
Yeah, on a 6.5.
So I'm going to switch back to the screen where it's showing the whole three-way setup right there. I take it this is a package deal you can buy straight from you.
Yeah, you can
When you have everything in stock.
right, which now it is. Now we have everything in stock.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So the 6.5s, the M3s, which is what you got your mouse on now, and then the tweeters. Everything's in
And
stock.
Nick, all three of these drivers are XBL, correct?
All three of them.
Yeah.
All XBL. Including-
Explain XBL because a lot of people probably don't know what that is.
And before, just real quick, even the tweeter literally is XBL.
Mm-hmm.
XBL in a nutshell takes a
It's XBL squared, right?
XBL squared, technically, yes. And excuse me.
Do you need something to drink? Because we have beer in here.
No, I know. I just don't like burping into a microphone.
Oh, I do. That's okay. This is Sundown. This is
So-
Sundown after dark.
No, I got you. So, XBL takes a voice coil. Usually with XBL, you use a smaller voice coil, and compared to a driver with a slightly larger or longer voice coil, with XBL you have a smaller voice coil that's able to move further linearly.
It's a thicker winding width, isn't it?
Uh,
Because everything's kind of bunched down towards the bottom of the coil.
It doesn't have to.
Not
be.
necessarily.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it can be. You know, the OD of the coil can stay the same, depending on how many layers you have.
Or not winding width, I meant OD.
Yeah, the OD. Yeah, you can. Depends on what the application is, but like with, well, no, I kind of sidestepped a little bit.
Do
But
your
anyway,
thing.
with XBL, case in point is the driver you're looking at right now, the carbon fiber one. That's either here or here, however
Beautimus.
anyone's looking. But anyway, that little 6.5, it's 2.4 inches deep with 9 millimeters one-way linear excursion that plays up to 10,000 hertz. It's not achievable by a traditional motor topology.
Right.
That's awesome. And
Basically, it goes back to what the inventor, Mr. Dan Wiggins, said about it back in the day.
yeah, let's
He's
talk
having
about
a
that.
discussion on the forums, and this is before he revealed exactly what it was. And the guy's like, well, it's got to be either overhung, underhung, or even
Well
hung,
hung.
right? And Dan goes, no, it's well hung.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
let's switch gears and talk a little bit about Dan, because Dan is actually a mentor of both of you guys.
Yeah.
And it's where you've learned a lot of really cool things over life. And Nick actually has something he brought with him that he kind of wanted to talk a little bit about. But let's
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Dan first. And then after all that, we'll go to a commercial and dick around afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, we've known Dan for a long time. I think the first time I met him, you were with me.
Yeah, it was like 2003-ish.
That
Was it,
little
he
car
was doing
stereo meet.
a Dyer audio back then?
Yeah.
Mhm, that was a Dyer. Yep.
And I owned a Brahma at the time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we met Dan at the little car stereo meet
It was in Tennessee.
in Tennessee. Yep.
Scotty Johnson was there.
You mean he was
Mhm.
on the East Coast at one point?
Yeah, he came
Oh,
to hang
yeah.
out with us at
No
the
shit.
Basehead picnic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dan is, for those that are deep in the audio scene, Dan's like a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nick and I met him. We were college students. We're both like, meh.
Damn, we should have brought that picture. It's in your office.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
me and Nick stayed in touch with him for a long time. And, Nick is using Dan's XPL technology and all these drivers, like really trick stuff.
I gotta hear. You gotta tell people the stories about when the two of you meet up with him, and you're like kids in a candy store, and Nick's got his pad of paper and he's writing everything
And
down.
his voice recorder.
And oh yeah, the voice recorder, because Dan's just rattling shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, he's an extremely intelligent
Yes.
person, and he talks, not say really fast, but he doesn't really stop very often.
Yeah.
And so if you don't get exactly what he's saying right then, it's not like he won't stop to explain something. He
Yeah.
will. But it's easier just to have a voice recorder
Yeah.
out.
Well, there's so many things you have to stop him every 6 words.
Yeah. So it's easier to have it out and then, look over it or listen to it again once it's done.
Yeah.
And go, oh, that's what he was talking about. So it's much easier. We've learned over the years.
Yeah, and Nick and I used to read everything that Dan put online, which is used to be a tomes of information. And we learned a lot about driver design just by following him.
Right.
You don't really see that kind of technical posting these days anymore. I mean, Nick and I both do our own fair share.
The forums are dying.
Yeah, but we don't want you also got to be careful nowadays releasing information because people will just rip you off. And that's a known issue.
It's a very known issue. You got to do the face.
Yeah.
The way that I look at that as far as the ripping off thing, people will rip you off, but when they do it poorly.
They generally do.
Because they don't know what they're
And
doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
That looks right.
Yeah, and then
We'll
even,
just make this here coil longer.
Yeah.
And it'll be better.
it'll be better because
It'll
it'll
be
handle
more
more
betters.
power.
Yep, that'll be terrible in an XBL.
More power, baby. Yeah.
More better. So, Nick, what did you bring with you? It's actually one of Dan's side companies.
Yeah, this is one of many. And just companies he's involved with, but this is a company called Periodic Audio. And they're in-ear monitors. And they've got 3 different ones. These are the big boys. They're the berylliums. And then there's a titanium and then a magnesium, I believe. And they're just small in-ear monitors. But I thought about bringing my AudioQuest Nighthawk headphones, but I brought these instead because even though I loved my Nighthawks when I got them, I still really, really like them. These actually perform better.
You think so?
These little IEMs right here.
Then there's Nighthawks.
Nighthawk's got
I remember
a lot
I
of
remember you
bass.
talking a lot of
Yeah.
gooderness.
More good rest.
The gooderness.
These
about
have
those.
more of everything in every way.
Wow.
Yeah, they're extremely impressive.
Sounds like Thomas needs to get
I'll
a
have to
pair
check
of those
those
bad
out.
boys.
But the cool thing is, I think anyway, now some people might see it as expensive, but I mean, honestly, we're talking about Sundown, so
Yeah.
it's not like it's not like we're talking about Walmart stuff here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, these are their highest end. They're top dog, and they are. I think, don't quote me, but I think they're $299.
Oh, that's really not bad.
So it's $300.
That's a beryllium.
Oh, if you look
Diaphragm.
at those armature ones that like the
They start at like
yeah,
$299.
it's ridiculous. That's
these are-
actually pretty damn
Thomas,
good.
have you heard
Yeah,
those?
these are 3.
I don't believe I've heard
And then
those.
the ones below them are 200, and the ones below those are 100. So you can get into the entry model of these,
Yeah.
and the entry model is really, really good.
I
I
would
think
love-
really the main difference is just the diaphragm, isn't it?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
That's the main difference.
That is the main
that
difference.
your consumer would know about.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they're named those names.
So here's the thing about earbuds. I actually prefer the sound of earbuds over the ear ones, right?
Mhm.
Just in general. Mainly because the only time I wear headphones other than doing the podcast is when I'm sleeping. I actually put headphones on to go to sleep. I put my music on, which a lot of people do apparently.
Yeah.
However, I'm afraid to get an expensive pair of headphones and just ruin them while I'm sleeping. I got a set of Monoprice branded headphones that are a dual driver headphone.
The earbuds.
Earbuds, and they sound amazing for going to sleep.
I have a
Mhm.
pair too. You got
Actually,
me
you
one.
guys remember when I bought them?
yeah.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
very excited.
And then
Brian.
you bought me a pair.
Yeah.
What was it? It was
They were
like
like
$8
They were like
shipped
$11
or something
and
like
then
that. Yeah.
they sounded amazing.
I still listen to those.
I love
I like
them.
them.
It costs more than that to ship
You
a
cannot beat them
sticker.
for the price. Period.
Yeah.
You go to like Walmart, get those ear candy bastards for like $6 or whatever, and they sound
They sound like
complete
those
shit.
Hello Kitty earbuds that Thomas
Oh
had.
my god.
Those are the worst sounding things I've ever heard.
I
in my
didn't
life.
think it was possible to make a transducer sound that bad.
The Hello Kitties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does sound like the old like there's a tin can and a string.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
then
yeah.
It sounds
I mean,
like
a low fidelity tin
How
can.
did that whole Hello Kitty thing start? Because after a while there, it's like you kept buying Hello Kitty shit for
because
Thomas.
my wife has a cat and I fucking hate it.
You had a Hello Kitty mouse pad?
Hello Kitty
Yeah.
mouse pad.
Keyboard,
I had a
keyboard.
Hello Kitty mouse, and that was
Yeah.
an amazing mouse. It actually was, and it was like my hammer, which I like too.
Very small, very small.
All right. I'm not gonna start the whole fucking hammer
We
thing
have to
because
talk about the
hammer
hammer.
jokes
Yeah.
are gonna turn
We
into
have to talk
like
about the
dick
hammer.
jokes and all kinds of other bullshit. Maybe after a few more beers. But that Hello Kitty mouse was actually a really good mouse. And then one day it like stopped working because the little scroller wheel got like some epoxy in it, and then it just never was the same.
Yeah, I wonder how
after
that happened with the epoxy. It's not
It's-
like it was at your desk.
Just gets everywhere.
You splooged it everywhere.
Hello Kitty mouse pad. I had a Hello Kitty clock. I'm getting some Hello Kitty curtains.
Yeah, the curtains are the
Yeah.
next thing I'm looking for. Yeah.
Curtains.
So if any fans want to send me some Hello Kitty shit,
Merch.
I will take a video.
What
of me
size
throwing it
panties
away,
do you wear,
pissing
Thomas?
on it, or burning it for you.
I bet you they make a Hello Kitty banana hammock. I guarantee you they do. Oh, speaking of underwear,
Oh no.
Did you try them out?
I haven't because they've been in this room the whole time. So last week, folks, if you noticed on YouTube and Spotify and all them peoples, we did not do an episode. We actually did a Facebook exclusive episode last week. It was live, and we had our web guy on. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't seen it. But I unveiled my new set of underwear that I bought because I thought it was just fantastic.
Got a junk pouch.
Yeah, so I'm going to show this to everybody again for those that haven't seen it yet. So here's the deal.
Nick, you should look into those.
I said this before, you know, when you've
Junk
got
pouch.
some thunder thighs like Bryan does, things get a little rough in the summertime, especially when you're, especially when you're at a show or you've been walking around all day and it's just, you can't even walk the next day because everything's just so red. Okay, so
little chafing.
yeah, check this shit out. So there's a little pouch on the front
Look
of
at that.
these. What it does is you not just your not
That's
just
on the inside there, Nick,
Yeah,
and you put
not-
your junk in there.
not just your wiener, but everything. The whole junk fits in that pouch, and it brings it all forward, so it's not rubbing against your legs.
Well, your whole junk fits in there.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's.
thanks, Thomas.
They sell it with different hole sizes, I'm sure.
It's
I'm
very
pretty-
stretchy.
I don't know what to think. I mean, it's cool, but have you used them?
No, they've been in this room the whole time. I need to wash them first, obviously, before I put them on.
He gives me a box. What was it, yesterday or the other day? He's like, dude, do you want to look at my underwear? And I was just like, what the fuck?
You guys know I don't have a filter, right?
It's true.
Yeah, that's
All
weird.
right. So that's a company called Separatech, and again, no affiliation.
All the
but
junk
I will let
in the pouch.
let everybody know
but it's like-
how they work.
It's like, I can't help but have the feeling it's like putting a rubber band.
Oh, like it's gonna cut the circulation off my
Like,
balls. I don't know. We'll find out.
We're going to find out.
I'm not huge downstairs, so it'll work. We'll be all right. Let's go to a commercial.
Are you sick and tired of playing sloppy edits with squared off sine waves? Want a moment of clarity? Then sit back and relax and experience what it's like to get rustified. When it comes to transforming new hits and old classics into the best street bangers, ain't nobody got the sweet sounds of the 808s like Russ. With frequencies ranging from spleen busting high end to digging all the way down low into the subsonic abyss, Rusticals has what you need. Sundown After Dark has teamed up to give you an exclusive offer to save big on his iconic sound. So pull out your mobiles and browse your way over to www.djrusticals.com and pick up your preloaded DJ Rusticals Fire Stick USB today. Go ahead and save 10%. Use promo code AFTERDARK. That's www.djrusticals.com and use promo code AFTERDARK at checkout.
Yeah, I mean, who washes the recyclables?
You're supposed to, or they can't use it.
Who has time?
You might as well throw it away. Actually, you'd be better off throwing it away.
Actually, personally, I don't even recycle them. Sorry.
That's fine.
Does Claremont even have a recycle program?
They do.
Really?
Do you have to pay extra for it?
No, I don't.
Oh, that's cool. But is it required? Do you have to recycle
You
in
have
this
to,
town?
no?
Okay.
They don't have to.
I didn't know they had to. Did they tell you to rinse your recyclables?
Yeah, it's advised because they can't use it if it's not clean.
What kind of bullshit
Technically,
is
and for U.S. companies to buy, it has to be 99% pure. When we're selling it to China, they would settle for 90
that? All right.
because they would have people hand sort it once it got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we aren't back yet, are we?
Yep, sure are. I click that button. Don't tell anybody. That's how I do it.
Me and Nick Lemons are talking about recycling.
Yeah.
I want to go to bed.
We were talking about recycling, but most importantly, let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't own his company. He doesn't own mine.
That is correct. So there's a lot of rumors online.
Yeah.
Generally, it goes that I own Nick's company, which is why I made sure to say at the beginning that Nick actually started like 6 years before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And nobody
he's-
bought anybody out.
Yeah, Nick is 600 or 700 years older than me, so that's
Yeah.
to be expected.
Yeah, and the other thing we were hitting on over the break is all the little conspiracy theories of like we were just talking about, like you own Down for Sound. You own
someone
you
said
own
I own Down
JP.
for Sound.
How
yeah.
is that a
You own-
thing? I
it's-
saw that too.
I don't know.
It's all it is what it is. It's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
It's not real.
Actually, me and JP and Scotty were all having dinner the other day,
Yeah.
and we were all like, "All right, so who owns who today, guys?" Because there's been there was a conspiracy that Scotty owned Down for Sound, that I own Down for Sound, that Down for Sound owns Excess Power and Sundown, that JP's the real boss. That I don't know.
Incriminators.
And one
mixed in there
time it was
somewhere.
just this dude
Yeah.
named Mike.
Yeah, there was a dude
Oh
named
yeah,
Mike.
Oh yeah.
That started a long time ago.
The guy called. Yeah, he called. He's like, "Look, man, I don't like to name drop, but I'm good friends with the owner, Mike, so you can hook me up." You know.
And then it was like, yeah, Mike
This is
from New York.
Well before we even hired a Mike to work for
years
us.
before.
Yeah, way back in the there was like 3 of us at the time.
Jesus.
No Mike here. We checked.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and just real quick, I guess as a last thing, some people, whether they're listening to us, and if they do, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, but how do the big thing to me is what I've seen online, is especially me and you,
Yeah.
is why they have the same address or the same company.
There's a big building.
There's 5 companies in this building.
Yeah.
This building's as
big.
big
It's
as
a
a
big building.
Walmart.
There's
So
one
it's
less
big.
now that I don't own Directronics
Yeah,
anymore.
So yeah, okay, so one less. So
People
there's
don't
4.
realize that this building is 100,000 square feet. It's the size of a super Walmart.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I tell people it's the
Yeah.
size of a Walmart. It's huge.
Yeah. It's an old furniture factory.
Yeah. So Nick has his own company. He has a room or a portion of the building that he rents from me.
A big room.
You know, Nick and I have been friends for a really long time, so like we actually enjoy working in the same building. Believe it or not, there's no conspiracy here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we actually sometimes will share certain parts, but like I might sell Nick some motors, but then he puts his own spider on there, his own sometimes his own coil. Now he's got his own coil stuff, and
Yeah.
it's his own tuning. It's a different woofer.
It's a work together.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah.
like we said earlier, Nick does all of the 24s for us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we've cooperated in the past on the HT, the cheap HT
Yep.
line.
Home theater.
Like Nick and I brought them in together, and I basically used Sundown's resources to do the logistics.
Mhm.
But like Nick was behind the promotion, like helping with the design because he's more of a home guy. You know, he knows more
Yeah.
about that. He goes way back with the home stuff.
But yeah, people have asked me about that too, and I guess that's one of the things we need to talk about. Is people ask me, well, your woofer looks just like a Sundown from the front. Talking about the HST
Oh
series.
yeah.
And there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because Jake's soft parts mainly, well, 2 big things. Not only just a spider, but his surround geometry and also his baskets that he has. They're basically the only ones that will support the amount of throw that we need.
Yeah.
So it's either use smaller stuff and you rip it apart, or use Jake's stuff and you don't rip it apart.
And there's not really anything else out there on the market like it.
No, and
Frame-wise.
this really goes back to what we were talking about before. The imitators
Yeah.
that have the mega roll surrounds,
Yeah.
it's their version of it. Well, it'll support 2/3 of the travel,
Right.
but not all of it. So again, you
And they start clacking.
Well, I've
Right.
seen some of them that are just low quality materials, or maybe way too stiff, or maybe even the opposite, maybe way too soft. They just didn't get the mix quite right.
right, exactly. So yeah, and that's one of the things that when I posted, especially online, when people are asking, why does your woofer look like a Sundown? That Sundown has that same surrounds. Like, yeah, they do, because I use it.
Yeah.
And
There's nothing wrong with that.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, like for 30 years, everyone used the exact same half-roll foam surround geometry, and nobody really said anything about that.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that, but
In the market in general, there's a lot of open tooled stuff that
Yeah.
a lot of companies use.
Yep, and when it's good enough, it's fine. But
For
when you're
instance-
pushing the extremes like Nick and I, you got to have the best.
For instance, the SA series uses a 4-spoke frame, but that's been used in the industry for years.
What, 40 years probably?
And it's a fantastic frame, does what it's supposed to do. Same thing with the 12-spoke frame.
Yep.
yep.
We're moving away actually from, except the 12-spoke. The 12-spoke we'll still use on the SD3, but we're actually phasing out the 4-spoke for the next generation SA. It'll use the same frame as the U series.
Sweet titties. Is that smoke getting to you, Nick?
No, I just noticed that the camera was pointing over here, so I was probably not being seen at all.
Just the 2 chairs. No, you're seen. You're good.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. Nick, Brian now
Hey, look
knows. After 14 episodes, Brian knows what he's
I
doing.
got
now.
you, but I can see it, and
You
it's
guys-
facing over here.
It's a wide angle.
Does
Okay.
everyone,
You mean when
just take
when
a
was-
second?
When I was over here, you could see me.
Yeah,
From that camera.
sort of. For most part, that
How
boom,
much of my face can you see?
all of it, but the boom's in the way now.
I respectfully
What?
disagree. I can't see the screen.
You're allowed to disagree,
Look over
Nick.
here.
You're allowed to disagree.
Okay.
But Brian knows what he's talking about.
I'm pulling conspiracy theory.
Has anybody noticed how majestic Nick Lemon's beard is, by the way?
It is really
It's
nice.
the biggest you've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I keep getting it, trimmed up. I don't want to look like a,
do you
forestman.
do you dye your beard?
No,
Oh, you don't have any grays?
No, he doesn't.
Well, if you
I'm
look,
32 and I got grays like a motherfucker.
if you look here, when my beard's longer, it's actually I had no idea that I had red hair gene in
Oh,
me,
yeah?
but it's right here.
a lot of
Sweet.
men have red in their beard hair, and they don't
Stop
have
lying
anything
in you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Rawr.
I have red in my goatee.
There's a camera on you, right? They can see
Oh,
you.
yeah, you damn right there is.
Yeah.
See, Brian doing all this silly stuff.
We've got some questions.
All right, cool.
Again, folks, for those that don't know, check us out on Facebook, Sundown After Dark, and that is one of the avenues you can take if you want to send us some questions.
It's probably
And
not
then-
you, Jake. I'm gonna sign out.
Oh, you're good. You want,
Just kidding.
so we got two things.
Oh, drink a puller.
We
So
always,
much is like
we always
that.
crack on Nick because he does this thing, but he's not really doing it much.
Well,
Because
we have
he's
a
on
lot of
camera.
fun here at the shop. You know, like we like to tease each other, and Nick likes to do his impression of me, and then we like to do his impression or our impression of Nick.
We like to do our impression of Nick doing an impression of
Anyone.
anyone.
Of anyone else. Yeah. So then he said, and then I said, well, what do you mean?
It's just you don't know what you do, like
Your mannerisms.
Yeah, your mannerisms until
Yeah.
someone else does them, and you're like, oh, I do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so don't watch this
do.
episode.
So it's
because
hilarious,
You're
though.
going to be terrified. Because
So-
the first time I saw myself on camera on one of these fucking things, I was like, never again.
Right?
So I love when Nick tells a story because, like, whoever the other person is always has the same voice.
Sounds like a...
Well, I'm trying to do this thing, you know, and then
And they're always an asshole.
Yeah, he goes to himself. He's like, "Well, what do you mean?" Actually, let me tell you something right now. This is how he's extremely refined. You know,
It goes back to the other person. Whoa!
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
but we love it. We enjoy
Love
it.
you,
We,
Nick.
we can't wait till Nick starts a story. We're like,
so-
it's coming.
It's so fun.
Usually, it's like a good story. There's a
Yeah.
beginning, then there's a climax, and then there's a
It's like a
trail
whole
to
They
the
are
end.
great stories. I
Yeah.
love it every time it happens.
Lots of
So,
details.
I mean, because honestly, especially in this, not say just in this industry, but like Jake said, in this building we have a lot of fun. But in the industry in particular, all the stuff that especially me and Jake see. I know Brian you can see a good bit yourself, but you have to have some outlet
yeah.
to, take care of some of the just craziness and silliness
Yeah.
that's out there.
Well, I know. Try. Well, fuck it. I'll say it. We have an email wall of shame here at
Oh, yeah.
Sundown, where if you just don't do it for fuck's sake, but if you send us an email that's just ridiculous and it just makes no sense,
It goes up.
or if you're from a different, I hate to say this too, if you're from a different country and the translator just didn't work,
It's really funny sometimes. Yeah.
will-
We enjoy it.
We will put that email on the wall.
Somebody emailed and they wanted Brian's sex and his eyes.
Yes.
so it's
Yes.
stuff like that.
That was a Google
Yeah.
Translate error. I assume the person was saying the product is sexy to my eyes or something, but
Yeah.
it just was all wrong.
Hold on a minute. We got messages like crazy coming up here. No, it's gonna be this one. Let me mute this real quick. Bam.
Hey,
For an hour.
now I can see your screen. If you scroll down to that yellow-looking coil,
Oh yeah, look at that.
yeah, that's an edge-wound coil.
This right here.
Mm-hmm. And you can see it by the picture. I mean, it's self-explanatory, but it's wire wound on its
Yeah, a
edge.
lot of people have never seen one of those.
And
Pretty
this is
cool.
what a Kevlar
Fiberglass,
fiberglass.
because you can't use metal, because when you stretch the wire on its side like that, it can maybe have a tiny little micro stresses and cracks
yeah.
on it,
Yeah.
and it'll short out if you use a metal former.
And so, what's the benefit of a coil like that?
Really low inductance, and for the OD and ID of the coil, the thickness of the coil, you get a lot of motor force.
Yeah, basically
Super tight gap,
Well,
right?
in
Yeah.
other words, it has the maximum theoretical packing density.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Packing.
Yeah, so we're talking about, that has the packing density of a 3, almost a 4 layer, but it's
Yeah.
only 1 layer.
Yeah. It's very common in Pro Sound.
Pro Sound. Yep.
Where they run super tight gaps and edge wound, and they want to keep the mass and inductance down.
Yeah.
Which they're expensive coils to make, I believe, right?
Yeah, they're not Walmart coils at all.
Why? I was going to say, why do we not see more of them? I guess it's probably just due to price.
Well, Nick, let's mention this. Rockford Fosgate actually uses an edge wound on
Yes.
their big bad boy 19.
Mm-hmm. It's
Oh,
a
yeah? Are they made
badass coil too.
Are they made at PE?
No,
They're
not now.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not now.
So is PE not doing edge wound? Or?
They
Oh,
do the
video
single.
edge wound.
That's from them.
Yeah, that's from them.
Oh yeah, not yet because probably the tariffs, I would assume, right?
No. I'm saying they do offer edge wounds, just not. They're not doing the Rockford thing yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
They have a Rockford coil there now.
Yeah.
So
It's a really cool sub. Me and Nick actually both really like that sub.
yeah, it's really cool because it's I don't want to speak too much because I don't know the innards of it, but I think when we saw it,
It's a dual winding.
it's a dual winding.
Yep.
But is it seriesed on the former?
That I don't know. I actually do not know that.
I think there's only one set of terminals, but it's really cool because since it's a dual winding, it's a really low inductance per winding.
Yeah.
So the wire's massively fat, and
Yes.
it's super cool.
Really neat. So Rockford really stepped it up when they made the new gen subwoofers all around.
Yeah.
Really, their new shallows nice.
It's really cool.
The 13 and 16 are nice, but the 19 is our favorite, of course, because it's big and
Yeah.
extravagant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really really cool.
I was really happy, honestly, to see Rockford step back up to the plate in the subwoofer
It's
game.
definitely nice to see one of the big companies actually do something cool and step outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
I guess you could
Exactly.
say.
Yeah.
So, and that's for Sundown and for Stereo Integrity, there was no comfort zone. So you guys just
Yeah.
kind of made it happen.
Well, I mean, we're small. We have to be on the bleeding edge all the time, or no one has the reason
Ahead of the
to
curve.
buy stuff from us.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so let's gear towards questions. Now, this we're going to do voicemails first. Again, folks, phone number is 252-969-0005, and that is how you can give us a call, leave us a voicemail. It's a Google number. I still have yet to set up like an actual thing, so it's going to say, "This is Google." Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I was doing Nick there.
A little bit. Yeah.
This is Google.
What do you mean? So you just leave us a voicemail, and we'll get to it on the show. Also, we're gonna go to messages that you guys sent through Facebook. So let's go ahead and this
do it.
guy has a huge. Looks like he called twice. Let's do the first one
Let's do this.
and see what this is all about.
Hey guys, my name's Eric. I'm a Sundown Nuthunger from Detroit.
Yay!
Thanks,
My
man.
question is
At least he admits it.
in regards to Neo Pro mid-range,
What's he doing in the
such as
background?
like the Neo Pro 8. They're 200 RMS mid-range.
Mhm.
We know everything Sundown takes more than that, done properly. But the largest multi-channel you guys have is the 200.4.
Mhm.
And it is only rated for 125 watts at 4 ohms.
Okay,
So how are you supposed to get
I see where he's
200
getting. I'll
watts
answer this.
to a Neo Pro 8?
I see where he's getting at with this.
Yep.
All right, so Eric, that 200.4 is giving you the 200 watts at 4 ohms. However, you can go down to 2 ohms also and get a little bit more. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, I'd also like to take this further.
go ahead.
We are planning to make bigger multi-channels. I just haven't gotten there yet. I did the Pro Sound drivers first, and I am working on revamping our whole amp line and all that. So we will have a bigger multi-channel for you.
And I'll say this as well. I have personally ran the Neo Pros in my own car on 100.4.
Yeah.
They sound freaking beautiful.
You don't need all that power just
No.
because it will thermally handle it. You do not need it.
You don't need it. And oh God, I can't speak. In all honesty, if you have a standard system in your car and you're not doing some crazy shit, 100 watts for a Neo Pro is totally fine.
Oh yeah.
So he's got another one. We'll go to that next week or something. Let's see here. Oh, this is ginger ale, I believe.
Hell yeah.
We may have already gotten to this one here.
I think so.
Maybe not. This was done on the 8th. No, we haven't done this one. All right, ginger ale.
What's going on? I don't even need to introduce myself anymore.
Nope.
I
I know his phone number now.
watched
Kendrell.
a video, and one of your competitors, as far as companies, showed a reason, like they're saying inverting subs is bad. And he
Sorry,
showed
was that out loud?
this frame that they offer, and it was uneven. You could see spaces in between it. Has that ever been an issue with you guys, especially with the new frames that Jake came out with, 2015? Just curious about inverting subs and having issues with the frames not seating correctly or what have you.
No. And also, they actually came out in 2013. 2012 was when I started the tooling. But no, we don't. that's not really a problem. I'm not really sure what they were getting at.
Shit happens.
We have customers invert subs all the time. Most of our big music build guys invert the subs.
If you're inverting a sub that's got a Sundown frame, it's advised to take the gasket off and just use some weather stripping.
Yeah.
Because the gasket's got an indentation, or not indentation. What's the opposite of indentation?
Extrusion.
Extrusion of the word Sundown Audio on
Yeah.
it, which may cause some leakage. So just take the gasket off.
You know, and even then, if you tighten it up real good, it squishes it down. But yeah, I don't really know what they're getting at there.
Has anyone ever put the gasket on backwards?
It doesn't seat well on the
Yeah,
frame.
because you know the top part.
Oh yeah, you're right.
where
It
it has
doesn't
the
work.
rim.
Now you can
comes
do
out.
I'm a
that.
fucking idiot. I built
no.
1,000 of these, and I didn't even think about
You're
that.
good because they have when you put the gasket on, there's like a little notch where it fits on the frame.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
On the 12-spoke and 4-spoke frames, you can do that a little bit better and kind of get away with it. Just flip your gasket around.
Yeah, so no Kindrell, there's no problem with inverting subs.
Yep. We've got another one here. Okay, this is Wes, actually one of our dealers, American Audio. And actually, Wes was the guy that was here with the kids the one day. So if you haven't seen that one, it's like episode 3 or 4, I think. So check that out.
Fucking chair.
Okay, this is Wes out of Bristol, Tennessee. And my question is, when you do, this is for Jacob, when you do the newer lines of amplifiers, are you going to make one that say a 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 watt full range amplifier for the guys that like say do pro audio doors or do stump walls and things like that? That was my question.
That's a good question there, Wes. Yes, on multiple levels. My new American line of amps that I'm working on, even the monos will be full range. Also, I'm about to start testing some prototypes of some high-powered 2 channels, and the Salt line also will have some higher-powered 2 channels and 4 channels as well. And I know you specifically asked about monos, but yes, the American-made monos will be full range.
Thank you, Wes.
Did you call it salt on
Did you
purpose?
say salt?
Yeah, my new Korean amp line will be called Salt, S-A-L-T.
Yep.
You're gonna.
I love it, but
It's your salt.
People
Like salt
probably want to
mine?
know what salt means. What is it? Is it
Salt mine?
Sundown audio low voltage technology.
Hey, so they're not going to be 16 volt capable.
Get it?
Yeah.
Sounds like salt.
Salt.
It's not spelled salt. That's.
S-A-L-T.
Oh, you're leaving the V out?
I absolutely love it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were putting the V in.
Solved.
Like a silent V.
Solved.
Salt.
I also came up
Taste
with a
the
name.
salt.
I also came up with a name for the Nightshade motor design.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
It's called Saint.
He's going to tell us. Oh, he did.
Sundown Audio Innovative Neodymium Technology.
Hey. Look at
I
that.
remember when you did that.
Everyone listening
It's
to this
just
podcast
perfect.
that's one of your customers is now just furious.
And then there's there's also the fast surround.
I'm not going to divulge what FAST stands for at this time,
Yeah.
but it's a technology I'm working on for surrounds.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about the fast when it actually happens.
Yeah,
Here's
could-
another one.
Could be well.
Hello, this is Chris. I've called in the past a few times. I was just wondering the differences between an overhung coil and a
All right.
Hold on. He's getting there.
and an underhung coil.
Underhung.
Sorry, I had a little brain fart there.
I fart all the time. It's okay.
I was just wondering the pros and cons of each.
You know what? We kind of mentioned this earlier. Nick, do you
Yep.
want to answer this question?
Actually, real quick, Nick,
No, I
this is
probably
one of the
was here from you.
guys who asked for you to be on the show.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't want to make anyone mad. That Jacob didn't answer this question.
I'll let you tackle it, man.
Anyway, an underhung coil. I'm gonna use my hands. It's weird. I don't have a piece of paper. But anyway, an underhung coil is basically shorter than the height of the top plate. An overhung coil is longer than the height of the top plate. So in an underhung, am I on that camera? I'm on all these cameras, right?
You're good.
All right. So
don't worry about it.
These are exaggerations.
Yeah.
Of course, but like an underhung coil, so your top plate is massive and your voice coil is really, really small, winding height. So that's an underhung coil because your top plate's taller than the height of the winding of the coil, so making it underhung.
Yes.
So it's opposite basically. If your top plate is this big and your coil's that long, then that's an overhung.
And what are the advantages of each, Nick?
Well, the underhung offers lower inductance because of the shorter winding width, and which increases bandwidth. And then the overhung has higher inductance, but also what comes with that there's pros and cons to both, but the overhung usually handles more power because there's a lot more coil there to soak up the power compared to an underhung.
Let's talk a little bit about inductance, because a lot of people don't understand or know what's going on with that. And you want a higher inductance, so to speak, right?
No, you never want a higher inductance.
Or a lower inductance. I'm sorry,
lower. Yes.
Well, lower inductance.
He works customer service.
Shut up.
That was a brain fart, Thomas. Leave Bryan alone.
It was a brain fart.
It's okay.
I often know these things. Sometimes I forget. Lower inductance means a cleaner sound in general. Is that a good way of putting it?
You could say that.
We're going to dumb it down.
Yes.
Okay?
But, Nick, why don't you fill Bryan in on the whole spiel?
Oh, no.
But then there's BL that gets in there.
No.
It does some things.
BL and inductance are separate.
They're separate.
Yeah.
So, transient response is dictated by inductance or lack thereof. A lower inductance loudspeaker will have better transient response than a higher inductance loudspeaker. Correct. We have actually a paper on Stereo Integrity's webpage. If you go to the technical tab and scroll down, and there's a PDF you can view on, it's entitled Woofer Speed. And in that paper, it shows data backed up by Klippel testing on, I think it was a 6.5-inch XBL back in the day.
I believe so.
And anyway, it fully describes in detail why inductance does what it does and how it does what it does.
Yeah, because a lot of people are under the impression that moving mass controls transient response.
That's wrong.
That is not correct.
You're right. Yeah. Everyone believes that.
Moving mass in general. Wow, I just had a brain fart there too. I should probably stop drinking. Moving mass.
Do you got beers over there?
I do. I've been grabbing them.
I don't even see it. It's like
well,
all the
you got-
briefcases. There's like 14
these
briefcases.
monitors in a way. I've got like 20.
I have 2 briefcases. By the way, that's how they come packed.
Yeah, they do.
The
Nick
6
ships
and a
them
half.
that way.
Yeah, 6 and a
It's
half.
totally sexy.
3s and
I really
tweeters.
do like it.
Yeah.
I
So-
love Nick's products.
I think what I was getting at is moving mass. The more mass, the lower the FS ends up dropping. I guess you could
With a
say.
given stiffness of
the
suspension. Yeah.
Right.
So, and another thing to expand on what Nick was saying about inductance, the reason that inductance controls transient response is inductance is the resistance to a change in the current. So a high inductance has more resistance to a change in the current. So obviously it would prevent your voice coil from reacting to a higher frequency.
Right.
Also, let's go back to our question about the underhung, overhung. One thing we forgot to address was the BL. So with the underhung, as Nick said, you have your big old top plate and your little coil here. And so the coil experiences almost no change in BL within this small span here. Whereas the overhung, the amount of winding in the gap changes almost immediately. Although there is generally counting fringe field and stuff.
Because it's moving out of the gap.
Yeah, well, it's not moving out of the gap in underhung. And overhung,
It is.
The amount of winding in the gap changes almost instantaneously. And
Right.
then, as Nick's drivers have the XBL, you have, let's just pretend my hands are something different. You have 2 gaps, and the coil's just a little bit bigger. And the rate that the bottom part of the winding moves out of the bottom gap is the same as the rate it enters the other gap. So you basically have flat BL.
Right. Yeah, we have a paper on that as well.
Yeah, Nick
on the
has that on
webpage.
his website as well.
Is this a write-up from you?
No, that's actually, I grabbed the papers from a dyer when
Yep.
Dan closed them down. I asked him if I could have those papers.
Gotcha.
And he said, yeah. So I hosted them up, and so they're out there.
Sweet. What's Dan up to these days since we talk about him so much?
Everything.
Everything. Literally, like everything. It's not just speakers. It's
I've
tons of
worked
stuff.
here for, 6 years? Actually, next week will be 6 years, and I have yet to meet the guy.
I met his wife.
He doesn't live around here. And I wasn't
No.
here that day. I don't remember what happened when she came. I think it was during the weekend or something. But talked to him on the phone, talked to him through email. Never met the guy.
Yeah.
One of these days I will.
You're privileged if you talk to him through email.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's a
like
big thing
1 or
these
2
days.
thing. Something that Jake had me handle, so don't worry.
Oh.
He wouldn't probably message
No,
me back
I'm
with
just
it.
saying in general. Like, you talk to Dan, period, in an email? Wow,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
This was years ago. We've got another question. This one's from Brandon Stokely. Brandon says, will Sundown ever come out with another huge amp like the NS2, or will the Sundown 12K be the biggest amp made?
I'm not going to make a direct replacement for the NS2. Just frankly, I'm stepping out of the high voltage amp market. Also, he had another question, Brian, that I don't believe I've answered. So the new Salt 12K, or I should call it Salt 12, because it will actually be more powerful than 12K, will be the biggest amp I make at this time. When I eventually venture into something larger than that, it might be in my American-made line.
Okay. Which will be, well, shit, I'm not going to talk about
Yeah, I
it.
can't really talk about it too much. So I see he asked here, will the next version of the Z be neo magnets? The answer is not yet. When I do the ZV6, it will still be ferrite, but I am working on transitioning that technology, the Saint technology, down to lower cost woofers. Yes, that was my intent.
All right, awesome. Let's see what else we got going on here. I did not prepare this show, to be honest with you guys, so I'm just kind of looking down here. Hey, you know what? Let's show the people. This is Charles Haley. Let's show this off a little bit. I wish I could make the picture bigger.
I always got like candy in the subs for Halloween.
This is like a trunk or treat type of situation. Yeah. So for those that don't know who Charles Haley is, he's one of our SQ competitors. He's on Team Sundown Audio. He uses all Sundown equipment except for the front stage.
Yep.
And he's got ZV5s in there now. He's got two 4Ks.
Two 125.4s, I believe.
No, I believe so, because they're the Class AB. That's what he wanted to use. Anyway, the cool thing is he's got a battery rack below the amp rack, and the amp rack, it basically you press it, and it comes up like this.
Yeah,
and you look.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it just slides up like this, and you can look down in there. But he's actually got a ported enclosure. I'll go back to this picture here. This right here is the port, and he's doing SQ competitions with this and winning. And the cool thing, he runs Mecha, and Mecha's got this thing. It's called Bobos or something like that, where it's like SQ and SPL mixed together. So for guys that have both types of setups in one vehicle, it conglomerates the score. Actually, there's another guy, and I forget his name. Fleenor, something Fleenor.
Huh?
Flanagan. Flanagan. That's it is. Yeah, Flanagan.
Fleenor.
He. I don't remember his first name. He runs X's in his vehicle and gets kick-ass.
Oh, here's a beautiful install too. He's got linear power amps.
I think it's in a Trailblazer or an Envoy or something.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful install.
So let's go back to here. See what else we got. Again, I didn't really look at what we were doing today. How
rigorous is our QC testing? Pretty rigorous. We will send stuff to B-Stock or Yard Sale quite readily.
Yeah, and you guys have seen the machine. He's been in here twice now.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
MVP.
Yeah. So yeah, we basically almost every single item that goes through those doors gets tested before it leaves the doors. And we're pretty damn stringent on exactly how things are supposed to look before they leave the building too. A scratch, a blemish, B-Stock.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of funny. Bad.
Yep. Correct.
We've got 3 stages of QC testing, or 3, what do we call, classifications of QC testing. There's good, or A-Stock, B-Stock, and then bad, which goes in the yard sale.
Yep. And we test it pretty heavily, like full excursion.
Yeah, they actually, I think they test on clipping.
Yeah, they push them beyond limits. You generally, like if they're testing like a dual 2 ZV5, they'll clip like a 3K amp on it in free air.
Right.
So this next question is: Are the SA 6.5 CX sound quality drivers? They sound really good. They're not like an exotic sound quality driver by any means, but they're really smooth sounding. Good frequency response. Dig down pretty deep on the mid bass.
I have a little thing to say about that. Don't mind that light. It just went funny. When the battery starts dying, it goes a little retarded. So the our coaxials. Okay, here's the deal. I've never really been a fan of coaxials. And then one day I was taking out my system out of a car because I was about to sell the car. You guys remember my black piece of shit Impreza that I had, right?
Oh yeah.
Which used to be red at one point. So I needed to put some speakers back in the car, so I put our coaxials in there just to have some sound. Turned it up. I was like, holy shit, these sound amazing. Mm-hmm. I think for the price you're paying, you will not find a better set of coaxials, period.
It would be pretty hard. They're very, very smooth, like really good, accurate drivers.
And they're not super bright, but they're bright enough. You still get that nice accuracy out of the fantastic speakers. And you kind of brought me back into liking coaxials. So thanks, Jake. Because I used to hate coaxials. I used to be nothing but a component guy.
You were a hater.
Yeah, I was a hater. But I got nothing else to talk about.
Oh.
Do you want to say anything else about stereo
I want to
integrity,
say
Nick?
something on Nick's behalf, and he can elaborate.
Let's do it.
I think that everyone should hurry up and buy these drivers before that Nick realizes he's not charging enough for them. Because they're absurdly cheap for how good they are. So,
Yeah.
Nick, how much do these cost?
These are slightly over 300.
And that's
So
for two.
That's for the pair.
That's the TM65 they're talking
ridiculously cheap.
Yeah, so you're talking, in a vehicle.
Yeah.
Full bandwidth from your subwoofer crossover point all the way up to 10,000 hertz, and again 9 millimeters of clean linear excursion.
At a
each way.
At a moderate listening level, it sounds like there's a subwoofer in the car. I'm not shitting you. Nick's eventually going to come to his senses and realize that these things should cost $1,000 because there's almost nothing $1,000 or less that's
Look
going
at
to
that.
keep up with
You
these.
can make the same or more money and work less. How about that, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
But buy them now before Nick comes to his senses, and then go to the next thing. So these are $300 for the pair. How much do the M3s cost?
These are slightly over 200 for the pair.
And again,
And there are companies that are charging 2-3 times this.
we've seen a pair of those like 3-inch drivers are like $700.
Oh,
A lot of people
And
are
yours
going.
yours are comparable or better.
Oh yeah, and they like you said, they operate over a broader bandwidth.
Yeah.
They're cleaner on frequency response, and we actually publish frequency responses. Some companies don't.
And Nick, your tweeter, the tweeter in this series.
Mm-hmm.
What was the model number again on that one?
The M25.
How much do they cost?
Those are right over $200, or actually right under $200.
That is
so
that's
$189.
retarded deal.
I personally own
Yeah.
those, and they sound beautiful.
Like, there's
Yeah.
not. You have to in my opinion, you have to go to a ScanSpeak Illuminator or something to get performance like that.
Yeah, the M25 is that big, and the Illuminator's that big.
Yeah, and it's just a stinking crazy deal. So I'm telling you guys, you better start buying these up because Nick's going to realize he's undercharging at some point.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
What is that hybrid that everybody goes to for those 3-inch drivers? And
They're very popular. Yeah.
How's
Very
that?
popular.
How's that compared to that? I hate to put you on the spot like that.
That's fine.
Just talk objectively.
I mean, objectively, they operate over a larger bandwidth. So, as far as sound characteristics between the two, there are differences, of course. And hybrid makes a really, really good speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And we also make a really, really good speaker. Ours just operates over a larger bandwidth than theirs does.
and Nick's stuff is all XBL. Once you've heard an XBL speaker, it's just different. They have the BL distortion is the biggest thing that they address because BL distortion is what is it, 70% of total distortion, Nick? And
Yep.
it's an unpleasant type of distortion. It's an odd order harmonic distortion, and you get rid of that and you listen to the speaker and you're like, wow, what's going on here? It's just a very different experience. And I think that people need to get a hold of these. They need to check them out. Nick, you were talking to weren't you talking to Down for Sound about maybe carrying them?
Yeah, we were talking to JP Down for Sound about carrying
Yep.
the full lineup here. Well, not here.
Yeah.
But
So you're
the
thinking about
mid-bass,
doing
mid-range
some
and tweeter.
dealer business because then it would stereo integrity is a direct sales market, but I guess you're going to kind of venture into the dealer sales. market?
this is
Yeah.
really great products, and right now just not enough people are experiencing them. And I think JP can bring them out there, but. Then Nick's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm selling 200,000 of these an hour. I'm gonna have to raise the price."
Thanks, JP.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely, yeah.
JP needs to make. He needs to make an SQ car now
You might.
Sure.
instead of
Never know.
Neoho.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what to tell him
I actually
about
saw another question from Kendrell that I don't believe I answered. He asked what the time frame was on the new SA12 V2.
that? Oh, okay.
I just spotted that on the way through.
Okay.
So I should have the prototype 10 and 15 probably right at the beginning of April. So I'll probably start production sometime in April. So that'll put them, August to September-ish probably when they'll be coming in, the
Okay.
V2s.
So 2019.
Yeah, that's
No
the plan.
shit. That means I had to make that video.
That is
I've been wanting to make.
a decade of the SA series
Right.
and basically the V1 with just revision.
And then the 20-year mark, we can bring back the SA Classic, right, Thomas? Remember we were talking about that?
What happened?
The SA Classic.
Yeah, I did think about offering
Am I
a SA
making them?
Classic later.
You mentioned that a
He's
long
not
time
even paying
ago.
attention.
Yeah. What are you?
He's spaced out.
I did. Yeah, I really did. I spaced out. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Thinking about other stuff.
What was in your head?
No, I was
Ponies
just-
and shit.
12 dicks.
all right.
So Nick, what else you got for us, man?
That's about it. I'm
No,
buying
you
it.
have your other sub we didn't talk about, the
Oh,
RM.
yeah. Oh, yeah, the new RM subwoofer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we noticed there was a big void in our lineup, really. It went from the shallow BM to the big, nasty HST.
You know, sometimes, Nick, you got to fill a big void.
And we did.
Nick's really good at void filling.
with the RM series. So it fits up there nicely. Everyone that's got them loves them, and
It's turning red.
Oh, I love it.
so yeah, it does. It fits exactly perfectly in the middle. So it's a good bit louder than the shallow BM, and not quite as loud as the HST, but that's okay because it's half the weight
Right.
of an HST. An HST is a big bad boy at 85, 90 pounds.
And speaking of small and lightweight, Thomas has this small hammer.
It's tiny.
That he really like. It's just
We should probably tell the story.
it's like a play school hammer, and so people come over and they're like, "Hey man, hammer." Thomas hands him the hammer like, "No, I meant a hammer."
How hard do you need to swing a damn hammer? Like, it's a hammer. It works, man. It's just
The
it's
heavier it is, the less you have to. The less hard you have to swing it.
you don't got to swing it hard to begin with. I'm putting nails in a wall.
Yeah,
Okay, so I went when I was like 16 or something. I needed a hammer for a project. I went to Lowe's or something, and I got like a cheap little light hammer. I've been using it, and it's been an awesome
Had it ever
hammer.
since.
Huh?
Yeah, you've had it ever since.
I have.
Yeah.
He's been using a shitty hammer for all these
And
years.
then
He didn't know he was in the kitty section.
and people
Was it your
come
dad
over,
comes by, right?
my dad, my uncle, and my father-in-law, everyone is just like, "Do you got a hammer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let me go get it." And every time I go and come back with a hammer, they're just like, "No, like a real hammer."
That's not a hammer.
And that's what it feels like. And I'm like, "What the fuck
So,
are you talking?
Thomas-
It's a hammer."
But tell the people what I did for you, since I care so much.
So Jake bought me a really nice hammer, but it's pink.
A pink hammer. It's a very nice hammer.
Was it that 16-ounce pink one?
a
That freaking
16-ounce hammer? No, I bought it on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
It is a nice hammer.
actually very nice.
I was actually
16-ounce
just
hammer
fixing my
is,
porch up
in
with
my
it.
opinion, is the best hammer. 16 ounces. That's why I like.
That's where it's at.
And when people are going to ask me why is my hammer pink, I'm going to be like, so no one fucking takes it. Because they're all, they've got inadequacy problems, and that's not a hammer. Like, what kind of, like...
That's not a knife.
See, the reason Thomas
true.
had the small hammer is because he also has a small toolbox.
Okay, so I got a screwdriver kit, and it's small, and, like, I had a small toolbox, like, the size of a lunchbox, It was just that I could take it anywhere, and I could work on anything. I didn't have to have a toolbox as big as this fucking table or something. Like, I don't
Yeah,
get...
you could work on anything in the country of Lilliput.
Lilliput, Cambodia.
I'm getting mad.
Lilliputian.
No, hang on.
Gulliver's
a second.
Travels?
Jake and I don't say Bryan. I don't know if he chimed in on this, but Jake need to dial back a bit now. He takes that toolbox that he has and he puts it in his truck. Oh, we didn't have a truck.
That's true. No truck.
Oh, no.
Well, you got to have a truck to have a full-size toolbox.
Okay,
I feel
so yeah, I was raised by rednecks, and
yeah.
that I don't have a truck, and that I have a small hammer, and
Yeah.
again, I know this is just going to fucking devolve to dick jokes and all kinds
We're gonna
of
have
shit.
T-shirts
And there's
made.
going to be T-shirts and memes and shit, and fuck y'all for it.
Thomas has a Toyota RAV2. Oh, it's a RAV4, but it's two-wheel drive.
So it's a RAV2.
It's a RAV2. He got stuck in the snow in his driveway.
Jesus.
And RAV4?
You know, if you had a normal-sized hammer, you probably could have broke up all that
It's
ice.
okay. You know what? I have an Envoy, which
It's a good hammer.
I have an Envoy which has 4-wheel drive capability, and I broke the 4-wheel drive just trying to get out of my grass.
That
You people
Envoy-
got like dick problems or something if
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, the hammer doesn't work. Oh, you need to get a bigger hammer. Like, what are you overcompensating for? It's like the motherfuckers that drive their trucks around when they're
Sorry,
like,
Thomas. We're all built like you with huge muscles. We need bigger hammers.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's the loudest show around. Sundown After Dark with your host Brian Chamberlain. Presented by Sundown Audio.